I just sat up. I feel like it's been all night watching How Heavy Are the Dumbbells You Lift. I watched something like 3 episodes in a row. I got through the entire thing. I've been watching it like off and on all week, but I finally ended up getting through it all. I decided to just binge watch the last few episodes. So I have watched the entire show up to date. I'm not sure if it's going to continue. I don't really know anything about it. I just watched this one season of it. I'm not sure if there's going to be a season 2. I haven't read the manga. I have no idea what this thing is. Well, I suppose I do because I did watch the show again. Oof, I'm all over the place because I'm tired. But How Heavy Are the Dumbbells You Lift is an anime about a bunch of chicks working out, and that's it. That's the show. There's no real plot. There's no real character development. There's no real, like, escalation. The entire thing is a platform to introduce you to workouts, how to do them properly, and I kind of loved it. I can't wrap my head around this. Like, how could a show with no real plot, no real, like, not really great animation, not really great characters, like, no real sense of progression or, like, this actual narrative arc of, like, these girls sort of coming together and, like, realizing their fitness goals, like, how could something like this be so enjoyable? Like, it's legitimately really, really good at introducing you to workouts and, like, explaining to you how they work, what the benefit is, like, really simple, like, entry level stuff. It does, like, entry level, like, eating healthy and things like that, basic talking about your form and things like that, like the benefits of working out and things like that. It's really, really good at that. But, like, it was bizarre to me, like, watching this, like, seeing these characters that I was getting really, really attached to, characters that I found funny and likable, like, not having any real character to them. Like, they just sort of, like, exist. Like, you have this girl who's part of this boxing gym. Like, she's her family owns one. She just sort of does. It doesn't really matter to the plot at all. Like, sometimes you see her running and doing boxing things, but like running with the boys or whatever. But you don't. It doesn't. She has abs, and that's it. Like, that's her character. Like, it doesn't really. Like, she's in better shape than the main girl, Hibiki, but that's about it. Like, it's so shallow a lot of ways. It's so flat. It feels almost like it shouldn't work, but it does in a lot of ways. Like, the characters, as simplistic as they are, as basic as they are, like, they still come off as genuine and likable. Oh, yeah, I don't think there's a single character I actively disliked in this. Like, if anything, my big problem with the show, like, as a whole, is that, like, there should have been more character aspects to it. Like, it almost feels like whenever there's not, like, a new workout being introduced, like, it's all just filler. Like, the entire thing is just a workout video, like, condensed into, like, an anime. It's weird. It's kind of it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me that they would do this. Like, is it just it's kind of interesting. Like, it feels like it fills a certain niche, but I'm shocked that something like this got produced. It's kind of odd, kind of weird, but I like it. Maybe they could do a season 2. Maybe they could, like, expand on the concept more. Like, really go into depth in some of these things. Like, like, maybe do more complicated exercises, because I noticed a lot of the stuff they did was pretty simplistic, and they sometimes mix, like, weird, unrealistic stuff in there that didn't really make a whole lot of sense. That's another problem I have with the show, is that, like, there are so many other shows that do the workout thing better, like Hajime no Ippo, right? Like, that is an example of a show that has a really stellar, that really mixes like the whole story element with like the whole fitness and working out and like motivational aspect, right? Like actually developing the characters, like as part of a story, not as a vehicle to explain these exercises to you. It's just, I don't know, like, but it's doing what it sets out to do. I think it's like it can be funny, it can be engaging. The characters are all likable. There's nothing wrong with it. I think it has this reputation for being rather fan servicey, but I didn't get that impression at all. Like, other than the opening, like, it really doesn't feel all that sexually charged. Like, I've seen some real shit in the anime world already. Like, fucking Kill La Kill. I've seen like 7 episodes of that shit. That was nothing compared to Kill La Kill. Like, shit. Like, I've seen some weird shit, okay? So I wasn't too perturbed by, like, the fan service. Like, if anything, I think I could have done with a little bit more of it. I don't know. Like, it felt more tasteful. I don't know. The characters could have done a lot more with the characters. Like, I wish there was more story to these workouts. I wish they did a better job, like, building up to this. A lot of this stuff, like, sometimes they kind of work, like when they're when Hibiki is trying to train for a race and things like that. Sometimes, like, they kind of throw, like, an interesting twist in there. But for the most part, it doesn't do a good job, like, building up a story to justify, like, explaining these workouts to you. Like, they just sort of, like, have the girls doing random things and then just randomly throw a workout in there. It just... it can't be entertaining, but at the same time, it's like they could have done so much more with this, like the whole like dieting thing. Like Hibiki has been constantly been shown to like be struggling with her diet. That's kind of her character flaw. Like they didn't really go into depth as to how like she deals with it. Like they just sort of make it into a joke, like, oh, she's always eating a lot of food, so that's why she's fat. Ha ha ha. It's just, like, it was just a cheap joke, and not like an actual character flaw that needed that had story arcs around it. You know what I mean? Like, it's just a cheap joke, like, a lot of the times, and there are like lots of moments like that where it feels like they could have done something with these characters that you wouldn't have seen coming, that you wouldn't have expected, that like you could have developed them a little bit more. You do get the impression that these girls are friends, like especially Akemi and Hibiki, but it just sort of happens, you know what I mean? Like the Russian kind of comes out of nowhere. She's introduced, she becomes part of the group, and then she doesn't really do a whole lot besides like make cultural jokes about like foreigners not understanding Japanese culture or locations. Like a thing for a while is when she like legit thinks that like a Chinese shopping mall, like a famous one, is like a stone, is like somewhere in the Japanese, is like within walking distance of Japan. It's that sort of thing that Japanese people can just go to, you know what I mean? Like things like that. Like the teacher jokes are just oh she's old, like just like it could have worked really, really well. I mean, I guess it did, because it does it does introduce you to things, or rather, in my case, get you interested in things you've already gotten into. Like I ended up pulling out my old hand grips again because of this show, which I haven't been using in a while, just because of like where I've been lately. But I've gotten back into it and am planning on continuing using these and doing some other exercises that the show kind of reminded me existed, because a lot of this basic stuff I haven't been doing as much as I should. I did learn a little bit of stuff, some stuff watching this, and I do think it is informative and a good entry point, I think, for people anime fans looking to get into fitness. I've heard like Jack's Blade recommends it, like as a good starting point. And I suppose for that purpose, it's great. But like as an actual show with like characters and plot and drama, like I wouldn't recommend it. Like, it is primarily a fitness educational tool, and that's great. But if that's not your thing, you're probably not going to enjoy this. And I enjoyed the show for what it was, but I imagine a great portion of the anime community would not enjoy that sort of entertainment.